external jugular veins. Inside of this space, anterior jugular veins drain into external jugular veins. Very many times we spoke about external. If you remember, we discussed how they form in retromandibular fossa, junction of the three veins. But as you remember, it is posterior branch of retromandibular, posterior auricular, and occipital. They join to each other and they form external jugular. By the way, after it will be drained into subclavian or internal jugular vein. But before this, it is entering inside of supraclavicular. That's a next structure, right? Please, it is external jugular vein. Brilliant. Both these veins, by the way, belong to the superficial veins of the neck. I mean, an anterior jugular and external jugular both have negative pressure. Now we need attention to it. From 5 non-connected spaces, we describe first 3. It is suprasternal, retroSCM, and supraclavicular. Why I start specially from these 3 spaces? Simply, guys, because they communicate to each other. And they form by same fascias, from in front, second, from behind, third. Now imagine that inside of these spaces, one from them, or all of them, we have some pathological liquid. How it can be spreading? Of course, only in neck, because this is closed spaces. But it can have collar shape spreading, because in collar shape size, these 3 spaces connected to each other. Let's say, remember, please, if in this space or in these spaces we will have pathological liquids, they will be spread in collar shape. And according to this, by the way, you will make collar shape kind of incisions for the drainage, which we will discuss in the future, then we will study operative surgery. Let's say, write and remember, please, the previous 3 mentioned spaces have communication to each other directly and indirectly. What does it mean directly? Directly it means one is continuation of another because they form by the same fascia. What does it mean indirectly? By content. We have the veins which is passed from previous to next. Let's say we have both communications and between walls and along the content. Let's say, right, please, if inside of these spaces will be pathological liquid, it will have the form of the collar-shaped phlegmons. Why not abscess? Because it's spreading. That is the phlegmon. That is not the abscess. That's all about these species. Write please space number 4 and call it please SCM space. Spatium sternocleidomastoidea. Sternocleidomastoid space. Point number 1. Write please, it's completely formed by second fission. And from in front and from behind. Because this space, it is the capsule of SCM muscle. Once again, it is completely formed by second fission and from in front and from behind, because this space, it is the capsule in the same time for SCM muscle. I told you last time, guys, we need attention, that you can see 2 types of the capsules. Type number 1 and type number 2. You can see that in case of type number 2 capsule, between the content and between the walls, we have free space. Such kind of the capsules we call also space. And SCM capsule exactly belong to this kind of the capsules. Then between capsular wall and muscular wall, there are enough place. Is it understandable for you? No? Friend, that is the problems with your understanding process. Now look please to me. I can wear the white coat which is just surrounded me, but if I will take the big size of it, between my white coat and my body will be more than enough place. In that case, my capsule will be not only capsule, but the space also. If it will so strongly cover me without any space between me and the white coat, it will be just only capsule and not a space. Is it understandable? Let's say from downwards and from upwards, that is the bones of attachment parasia. From down it is sternoclavicular joint, from up it is the mastoid process of the temporal bone. Okay? Let's say from up and down, the space is closed by the mentioned structures. By the way, now you can say me, but sir, if the problem is passed, I mean, if the capsule is passed up to the mastoid process, why we don't call it connected space? Because mastoid process anatomically belong to head region, not to the neck. Answer of this question I gave you before, and who will say me it? Now I will put the 10. Why, if it is spreading up to mastoid process, anyhow, we call the space non-connected? Because by definition, connected space, that is space which is passed from one anatomical or topographical region to another. Now we have exactly, immediately this situation. From neck, space is continuous up to the level of the mastoid, but God knows why we call it anyhow closed space.
Because the imaginary line which divide the head and
No. Because you sleep in my classes, please. I listen only sir and 3 times sir. Sir, sir, sir. But that is not answering my question.
veins.
No. Checking, dividing, I don't understand what do you mean. You speak with your virtual pet now, not with me. Of course no, guys. In my previous class I told you, if I will project it base of the skull on the anterior surface of the neck, it will be the level of the hyoid bone. That's why from projectional point of the view, base of skull, your mastoid process belongs to the base of the skull. From surgical point of the view, of course it is part of the head, and we provided the border. But then you project it into the neck region, you come to the hyoid bone. You don't come to the head region, you come to the neck region. Topographically, it is located in the level of the neck, not in the level of the head, because then you project it into the surface, you find the structures of neck, you don't find the structures of the head. It is understandable for you or not? Don't forget that my subject, it is surgically orientated subject. Let's say projections and topographical specificities, it is the most important for me. Not anatomical, but surgical specificities. Is it understandable for you? Very well, we finished to speak about point 1, now point number 2. Place of its location. Oh, it's stupid to speak about it, yeah, because region, capsule, and space coincide to each other. So we have SCM region, it means it will contain SCM capsule, which is SCM space. That's I think it is understandable. It is located in the region of the SCM. As you remember, it is region between medial and between lateral triangles of the neck. Medial triangle, lateral triangle, between the SCM. Very well. Now finally, last point 3, it is contained. Again the same fat, again the same lymphatics. Vessels, arteria, vena, sternocleidomastoidea mastoidea. For the artery, you can open the brackets and write it is branch of external carotid inside of carotid triangle. So it is originating from external carotid in the carotid minute, attention to me. That is my carotid triangle. Let's say from carotid triangle, it is directed to back. It is penetrating the capsule of the muscle and supplying. About vein, it is draining to the external jugular vein. Vein is draining to external jugular vein. That's not enough, because except these mentioned vessels, we have also nerve. What is it? What is it? You study anatomy, friends. You must know, of course, nervus accessorius. That is your 11th cranial nerve. Nervus accessorius. How it come to outside from cranial cavity? Can you remind me? It should go from some aperture, which is in base of skull. Which aperture? You use the Google. Jugular. Which another nerves pass from this aperture? Vagus. Friend help, ask each other. Nine and 10, glossopharyngeus and vagus. 3 nerves come to outside by jugular aperture. This is 9, 10, and 11. By the way, it is the special part of this aperture, which we call Neuros part, because posterior is venous part. You must to remember. Let's say this aperture has venous part and Neuros part. Venous part from internal jugular vein, Neuros part for these 3 mentioned nerves. Remember about it. By the way, what the function of these accessories? Innervation or why it come to SCM? For beauty, to look in them. Of course, it's an innervated SCM, then it is perforated the capsule and come to your trapezius. 2 muscles, which is innervated accessorius, it is nervus, it is musculus sternocleidomastoideus and musculus trapezius. Remember, friends, you study anatomy before. Let's say once again, let's make conclusion. We have fat, we have lymphatics, we have sternocleidomastoid vessels, and we have accessory nerve. Remember about it, that is simple. Let's continue. Now we come to the last space, which we call Saccus cecus hiomandibularis, or hyomandibular closed sac, or third name also we have. We call it just the capsule of submandibular cellular tubulum. It's a Saccus cecus hiomandibularis. It is open. In the picture you can see Saccus cecus hiomandibularis, or the closed sac of submandibular gland, or just the capsule of submandibular gland. All the names is same. Point number 1, like the previous space, it is completely formed by second fission, because it is capsule of submandibular salivary gland, which is formed by second fission. Once again, like the previous space, this one also forms by one only fission. If you remember, then we discussed together second fission. I told you that it will be involving formation of all non-connected spaces, or alone, or together with third one. Now you check that first 3 species which we described, they formed by second and third together. Last 2 species, it is formed only by second fission, because last 2 species, it is 2 capsules. Okay, what does it mean, capsule? Now look, for example, she is the structure which will be covered. I am the fish. Of course, before we reach this structure, split it into the layers, I cover and surrounded this structure, and by margins of this structure, then I fuse. So I forms the closed space for the structures which should be covered. As I remember, please, Saccus cecus hiomandibularis completely forms by second fission. By the way, very unique ways of formation. As you remember, it is split into 2 layers. It is forms the capsule for structure. Above the submandibular gland, these 2 layers again join each other, and like one facet, they come to the inferior margin of the mandible. In the level of inferior margin, once again, we see splitting of these layers. Let's say 1 2, 1, and again 2. Do you imagine it? Deep layer goes to mylohyoid line, cover the mylohyoid muscle and finish here. Superficial come to your face. Superficial layer of second fascia we call fascia parotida mesenterica, and it is forms the capsule for parotid gland and from the masseter muscle. As I remember, guys, we have something like this. Look, 1, 2, 1, and again 2. From this 2, 1 deep, come to the jaw, second superficial goes into the face. Is it understandable for you? Brilliant. We understand the borders of the space from all the sides. It is second fascia, as I say. Question number 2, where it is located? Oh, it's funny even to say, guys, if it is submandibular, of course it will be submandibular triangle of the neck. It is located in submandibular triangle of the neck. And lastly, content of the space, point number 3. Same fat, same lymphatics. By the way, for the lymphatics, you can mention 3 groups of the lymphatic nodes we have here. It is anterior, posterior, and inferior groups with very important function. Again, I will remind you anatomy that these 3 groups of the lymphatic nodes drain all your medial face and all your oral cavity. As I lymph from these 2 mentioned regions drain into the lymphatics inside of the mentioned space. This is very important because, as you understand, majority of the cases can give inflammation of these lymphatics due to the high possibility of infections in the oral cavity, not so much in medial space, medial phase. That's why if I will ask you now to palpate this space, in majority of the cases you can do it, not due to the enlargement of the gland, but due to the enlargement of the lymph nodes. By the way, where you can find it, Lucas said, where you can find it. Look, you find the angle of your mandible. From angle, you come approximately into 3 centimeters to in front, and you descend it into 1 finger to down. Once again, from angle of mandible, come 3 centimeters in front, and descend it 1 finger to down. Here you can palpate it approximately walnut size, 2 rings. Yeah? If you don't find it, you're a lucky person. It means you have so ideally sonated oral cavity that doesn't give any problem in this region. But 90% and more students can simply palpate these enlarged lymphatics. Again, I don't say submandibular gland. I say enlarged lymphatics, which is located inside of the capsule. But that's not enough. Continue, please. Except fat and lymphatic nodes, we have facial vessels inside of this capsule. We have facial vessels. Open the brackets and write, please. In front of the gland, we have the facial vein. And behind of the gland, we have the facial artery. In front of the gland, facial vein. Behind of the gland, facial artery. Many attention, please, to this picture. Capsule is removed. You can see gland. And you can see only one, unfortunately, blue structure, because red is behind of the gland. You can see only continuation of this red, which is from neck region, goes into head region. As you remember, in the head region, facial artery will be projected from midpoint of inferior margin up to the medial angle of the organ. But remember, please, if my fist will be the gland, my 2 fingers will modulate it now for you, these 2 vessels, in front of the gland, V, behind of the gland artery. And this situation, guys, can make problems for us. As I say you before, we can have lymphatic inflammations, which we call lymphadenitis generally, or lymphangitis, yeah? And it can be putrefaciente also. And if it will be putreficated, it can damage the vessels which is located inside of this capsule with formation of secondary bleeding. What does it mean secondary? Not traumatical or post-traumatical. Here the cause of the bleeding will be not the trauma, but purulent process inside of the capsule. You know, the pus has the proteolytic ferments. It can perforate it any soft tissue, and vessels is not exceptional. Is it understandable for you? Are you sure? You sure that you understand? By your face, I see that you don't understand. You just make the show. Everybody move their head and you together. Now look to me. Now imagine that inside of this capsule, which I show for you, there are pus.
Yeah.
What do you know about pus? You know that in major, but by your experience, for example, if you have some inflammation of small process, you know that in majority of the cases, pus perforated the skin and come to outside. It is drained. Or sometimes you can help to this process. You can penetrate it and press it, yeah, to make evacuation of the pus. Do you agree with me? But there aren't second possibility for the pus. It can come not to outside, but can be spread to inside. And of course, this is happen because of the special ferments, which is located inside of the pus, which can perforate, damage soft tissues. Now, what do you think if in this capsule with pus will be vessels, which is soft tissue structures? Can they will be damaged by the pus or not?
Yes.
Of course. It is same to say if I will insert it, my finger in acid, for example, acid can damage it, of course. Because it is aggressive. Pus is also aggressive. Do you understand me now? Such kind of the bleedings we call secondary. Because primary bleeding, it is exactly cause of the trauma. You cut the vessel, it gives the bleeding. But look to me. If this cutted vessel, you ligate, and God knows why, after 2 hours, ligature is clean, the new bleeding is started, it is also secondary bleeding. Primary bleeding originated immediately after the trauma. Secondary bleeding in all another cases. By the way, when I say trauma, I mean any kinds of trauma, not only external, but possibly internal. For example, traumatization of stomach wall due to the perforation of stomach ulcer. That is also will be primary bleeding, not secondary. Do you understand me? Because wall of the stomach perforated, vessels which is in this wall can be damaged, and it will give the primary bleeding. Or ulcer disease of the intestine, samely. Do you understand me or no? I'm happy and let's continue. That's like we come to, we discuss together all non-connected spaces of the neck. Now write the name of the topic, connected spaces of the neck. And sentence number 1. In the neck region, we have 3 connected or communicated spaces. 5 non-connected, but only 3 connected. Open the brackets and write please. All of these spaces have communication to downwards with superior mediastinum. What? What is understandable?
Can you repeat it?
Superior or mediastinum. All these spaces. Now look please to me. What first we look. Now imagine that I open the door of my room. From closed space, it will become to open space. Because it will have the communication with entrance. Yes or no? Let's say open space, it is the space which have this open door. And by this open door, it's connected with another topographical region of human body. Now look to me. My 3 fingers, I descend into down. It means these three species connected with down-located region. Down-located region we call thorax. Your thorax have two compartments, as you remember, walls and cavities. Look, I say in plural, not in singular, because there are two walls and because there are two cavities. From the sides you have plural cavities. Between them you have mediastinum. These three species communicated not with the pleural, but with the mediastinum, which is middle compartment of thoracic cavity. By the way, again, from anatomy, I don't know this study or not, this your mediastinum split it into two portions, superior and inferior. How simply we can make this division? Now please, if it is possible, put your fingers in your sternum and locate it, please, angle of your sternum. Angle of your sternum located between jugular notch, yeah, manubrium otherwise, and body of the sternum. This is the angle. If from this angle you will provide it horizontal plane, it will divide it, your mediastinum, into superior and into inferior. So minute attention again to me. From angle of your sternum, you provide it horizontal plane, something like this. Above it, you have superior. Below it, you have inferior mediastinum. By the way, inferior mediastinum immediately divided into three portions: anterior, middle, and posterior. And what is this division-making structure? Imagine that she is pericardial with the heart. In front will be inferior, she will be middle, and behind will be posterior. Let's say pericardium together with the heart divided inferior mediastinum into three compartments. In front of me, I have anterior, I am located in middle, and behind of me, I have the posterior. That's why in majority of the literature, term inferior mediastinum is not used. Just at once is used anterior, middle, and posterior. And you should understand that this anterior, middle, and posterior belong to inferior part. So you can listen like this: superior mediastinum and anterior mediastinum. It means anterior, it is not some separate place, but it is part of inferior compartment. It's like all these three connected spaces, as I say, communicated primary with superior mediastinum, with the part of mediastinum which is above this imaginary plane, which I mentioned. But you can write or remember, one from these three species will have also upper communication with head region. It is so-called parapharyngeal space. That's why all of them communicating to downwards. One from them have double side communication, and to down and to up. Is it understandable for you? You can ask me now, and what is the importance of this information? Oh, simply, friends, even your room will be passed, and if this door will be opened, of course it can be immediately. Look again the terming. Look, any times you listen now medical terminology, try to remember. Pus can be spread in primary way and in secondary way. Primary way if there are exact communication. Secondary, I say a minute before, if it is perforated the structure. Let's say now we will speak about primary communication. From open door, it can goes to down, mainly by gravity force postulator, or possibly it can come to this space from upwards into one from these three spaces. Because one from these three spaces have also upper communication, not only lower. They understand it. I am so happy. Write the name of first space. It is the previsceral connected space. Previsceral space. And minute attention into this cross section. As you remember, that is the cross section on the level of C6. approximately in the real level of my pen here. We cut the neck in this level by colors. It shows different facets. And as you remember, the green one we call endocervical. And as you remember, it has two layers. One is covered the organs, we call it visceral. Second cover the visceral, we call it parietal. And attract your attention into this narrow space between these two green layers. This is immediately the visceral space, because these two facets, two layers, sorry, doesn't fuse to each other. Like between me and you, there are the space. And this space is called previsceral. Why previsceral? Because it is in front of the visceral layer. Pre, it means in front. Do you understand it or no? Right, borders of the space. From in front, it is parietal layer of fourth fission. From behind, it is the visceral layer of fourth fission. From above, it is a level of the hyoid. Tell me why. Why a level of hyoid? Logically, we must say level of base of skull, because fourth fissure finishing the level of base of skull. But instead of this, I say level of hyoid. Why? Because base of skull projecting into the level of hyoid. Guys, you have like the rabbit's very short memory, and I'm sorry. Several minutes before, then we spoke about the SCM space. I mentioned about the base of the skull projecting in the level of your hyoid bone. Is it understandable for you? What about downwards? I say it doesn't have border. It is communicated with superior mediastinum. From down, it is open. Is it understandable for you? Well, let's come to the second question. Content of the space. Oh, sorry, the place of location of the space. Who can tell me, pay attention, who will say me exactly without mistakes the place of location of this space? I will put the 10. Where is located your pre-visceral space? By the way, I ask you the questions only if I know that you have the answer. It means previously it is given for you. Once again, please raise the hand and say your option. Because you speak and I don't understand who is give this option. Only. Nobody else? Guys, that is very easy and more than easy. Please. Okay, let's not waste the time because it is short. Write and remember only omotracheal triangle of the neck. Only, friend. But this is not because I play casino, but because I know I have knowledge. You try to play the casino, that is the difference.